Good morning, everyone. We're back where we began. We're back where we began, which is tabletop development. So when I first started streaming, at the very beginning of August, so it's been 2 months. Uh, the main thing that I wanted to do, other than doing some game development for the game that's in development, Switchball Deluxe, as well as playing a whole variety of games, was to do a thing that I hadn't seen done, but has been done in different content called royalty-free music. And then once we have that, then at least we'll have some nice background music. We'll also have music that we can use for if we do, if I put together videos, I need music for another thing that I'll be posting at some point, which are musical improv shorts or just musical improv in general. So we need that to start. So that's what we're gonna do. Is today we're gonna find some music, and then we're gonna dive right into this, which is coming up with a tabletop game idea and drafting it. And we're gonna do it super fast. As fast as I can. We'll try to be engaging. We're mainly using a Word doc. There are some other ideas that I had, such as using a design doc with like little webbing branches and stuff. That's not how my brain works. So try to make it engaging and go from there. But first things first, if you're in here, you at least want some sort of music playing in the background. Because if I prattle on, you're looking at this stuff and you're like, oh man, the game mechanics is, then we want something going on. So at the top, let's see, where's my browser? Here we go. We have this guy. We're going to be using this to randomly select, because there is an improv-esque component, a randomization component of what mechanics, themes, and stuff are going to be in the game. We're going to randomly choose those. Eventually, we'll have chat choose those as well, but for now, they're just going to be random. But first, what we need is music. And yes, I could have done this off stream, but whatever. We'll just choose something. Royalty-free music. We'll just say for podcasts, for Twitch. Look at all the ones that are sponsored. Ooh, look at that. Unlimited copyright-free music. That sounds pretty good. Epidemic. I don't like the sound of that. Upbeat. Upbeat morals, upbeat morals. 2025's It's the Best. It's the best. I guess you could get it from Spotify too. I mean, how do we not choose Envato? It is the best. Just click Envato. None. 0. Zilcho. None. No. Use necessary cookies only. Envato. Tracks. You can just play stuff. I kind of want my own little player. Get unlimited downloads. I don't want to download it. Well, I might want to download it. All right, that's Envato. What else we got here? Royalty-free music. Oh, Epidemic came up first this time. Artiste. This website uses cookies. Y'all are using cookies. Gaming soundtracks. Ooh. So cool. No, we don't just need soundtracks. We're going to need a variety of music, especially when we do improv. More collections. Sales boosters. Acoustic, yes, acoustic wedding music. It's also what I'm looking for here. Business pricing. How much do I have to pay for this? Oh man, only $40 a month. All right, they're legit. They're like, nah, we're gonna charge for our stuff. All right, we're not gonna do that right now. We're not paying $40 a month. Royalty. Wait, why am I retyping it every time? There we go. What did we click on that one? Upbeat. It's the number one. How could it be wrong? Free music, cookies, none, 0. You're the same pop-up. Is this the same website? Discover. Gilmore Girls. All right, what does it say? How much does it cost? Creator. $8 a month. That's like, all right, what does that say? I can't read today. Full creative freedom. Pro. The ultimate creative plan. Motion graphics. I don't need any of this stuff. What are LUTs? Do we need LUTs? Elevate your creativity. How do I know if this actually has the music that I want? No idea. We're just gonna have to take a stab at it and pay like $7. What else do we got here? Royalty. Where did they come up with this music? Do people just get like a take tones? Yeah, this is just free. It's just free. Start free. Oh. $6.90. This is like when I worked at GameStop years ago, and they were like, "Hey, you don't say it's $59.99. You don't say it's $60. Don't say 60. You always just say 59. It makes them think $50 instead of 60. They're doing that right here. $6 a month. $6.90 a month. They want that extra 90 cents. Take tones. How do I even know what you have? Groove it. Beach Bliss. I mean, I'm sure all these places have basically the same stuff. So we got this one. I don't know. I don't really like this website. You lose. You lose. Royalty. This is going to be my most popular query ever. I call it queries because I'm in databases. I'm going to query Google. Globally cleared forever. That sounds like a scam. Royalty PM, that's the AI overview. Soundstripe. What is that? Fairly Odd Streamers. You're not wrong. Spotify. See, if I was on Spotify, I would accidentally click one that's not royalty free, and then I'd be screwed. Soundstripe. It's the best. Oh, the other people were saying that too. This is just a blog telling us about the other ones we could get. To the next level. All right, we're just going to take a stab at this. Are we going to take tones? I'm going to take their tones. Or Upbeat. I don't know. I like Upbeat's website. It seems happy. Look, it's safe for all platforms. I mean, it's royalty free. That's the essence of royalty free music. Limited motion graphics. Oh man, if I don't do creator, I don't get motion graphics. And I only can safe list one channel. Here I can safe list 3 channels. High quality? What? You're gonna give me some low quality WAV files? That's rude. All right, we're just gonna pay $6. Create an account. Sign up with Google. How about this one? This is the email address. You can always email me at quasicogames@gmail.com. I will block you if you send spam. Are we signed up? Did it work? Oh, I have to agree to their terms of use. It's in blood. All right, now I sign up. All right. What? No. You could earn 20. Yeah, like I trust that. We'll try this for a month. You can always up it later. We are going to have to hide credentials for 1 second. 1 second, please. We are going to have to pay for $6. All right. Do I trust this website? Yeah, enough. Enough. All right. So my card here, chat, is 999 9932 22 9922 with an expiration date ending in 2097. It is a really, really good card. Full name, Quasico. It's me. What else do you want from me? No, we're not doing annual billing, you little whippersnapper. Save my info. You don't need to save my info. Here, I'll give you my money. Save. Don't save. Oh, my address. Yeah, you guys need that, I guess. Bada bing, bada boom. Good enough for me. Save. No. All right, let's see if it gives us free music. We need music that I can play on stream. I did it. All right, we can show now. Safe list your first channel. What? As an Upbeat Essential subscriber, you can safe list. Bro, let me just play my music. Bro. Welcome to Upbeat. All right, chat, what do you want to listen to? We're just going to put in some drum and bass, probably. Anyone want some simple drum and bass? Let's see what we got for drum and bass. Drum and bass. Fast. Pass? I don't have my glasses. Oliver Massa. Alex Bess. Yo, this guy looks cool. Popular searches. Can I just press enter? Drum and bass music. It's just going to play a bunch of random stuff. Do I trust these people? Breakbeat. Intimate. Drum and bass. Can I just say drum and bass? The mood. The theme. Wait, this says energetic. And down below, why is it playing music that says like, all right, chat, we're going to try this. Wait, do you have to download it? Can I play it here? Can I just do this as a player? Oh, we also have to turn on the music for the browser. The browser. We're going to double click. Capture audio. Okie dokie. All right. Let's see if the audio comes through. I'll be able to tell. Strawberry Road. Play. I can hear that. That is drum and bass. It is not coming through the browser. Oh, did I accidentally... Wait, why isn't the browser showing anymore? Hello? Right here, man. Oh, there. Oh, that's weird. Alright, we got some music playing. Whoa, 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 it kicked it up a notch. Alright, gotta make it lighter for me. Alright, so the key, does it automatically go to the next track? Oh, I just muted it for myself. I mean, it's not the worst track in the world. It's not the best track in the world. I have it pretty low. I really want it to be background music. Alright, we're gonna leave it at that. Well, now it's really low. Alright, if anyone can say that they actually hear the music, that's great. If I put it like this, does it still appear? It does, right? It's still playing? Yeah, it is. Cool. Alright, so we're ready to go. Let's just do a little test here, actually, before. So, say we go to the end of the track. You're like, oh man, what a great track that was. Is it gonna go straight to this dude? You got it. All right, we're gonna start off some drum and bass, and we're actually gonna start our speed run. If I go to a different tab, does this screw it up? It does not. Okay, ready to go. So the way this is gonna work is if we show the Word document. What we got are the main parts of any tabletop game. You have the mechanics, like what are the actual things that you're doing, and then you have themes. So really, those two things go hand in hand. So think of some popular, just like American games. Monopoly. What is the mechanics? The mechanics are like bidding, purchasing things, moving around a board, owning properties, trading. The theme is hotels, houses, properties, management. Think about risk. Risk is about board control. It's about war. It's about getting units. It's about alliances and stuff. What are the themes? Well, it's war. It's world domination, like these sort of things. So the themes and the mechanic go hand in hand. And that's what we're going to do is we're going to roll 3 different mechanics. And then we're going to roll 2 different themes. And then we're going to have to make a game based off of those things. Now, I am going to come up with 3 ideas, and then we'll randomly choose one of the 3 ideas as well. So I've done this a few times already. And something always comes out. Something always comes out of the Nagino. Sometimes it's not the idea that I wanted to do, but I randomly chose a different one. Now, these mechanics list, this was generated from ChatGPT a while ago. It's a very comprehensive list. I supplemented it just a little bit, but it's kind of split into different mechanics such as action selection, hidden information, etc. So there's a whole bunch of different types of mechanics. Themes I just came up with. Now, there aren't that many themes here, so we can come up with just some random themes too. Like, there's only about 40 themes here. So, for example, what is a theme? Just come up with 5 more themes. You could say like trees, flowers. Actually, those are very different. Make a thing. We already have animals. Animals could be any animals, like cats, dogs. Cats are a very common theme because cats. We already have space somewhere. I don't know. Do we have an underwater theme? We have weather. I'll just say underwater. Just add a few more themes. You could do metalworking. Or like, what's it called? You know, where you make the metal hot and stuff. Blacksmithing. Because, you know, I know a lot about that. Civil engineering. Anything could be a theme. Painting. What's a thing that you would want to do in a board game? I don't know, you look around. You could say clothes. So, anything could be a theme. And then the co-op versus competitive is sometimes or a thing that you want to consider. Usually after you start coming up with a game, then you can start thinking about whether there are co-op or competitive aspects to it, and you lean into those. And then finally, the game, whether it's a light game, really easy to play, pick up and play. A medium game, it's got some complexity to it. It's got some meat on the bones, but still not too heavy. And then the heavy games where it's like, okay, this rule book's a little out of hand. On stream, in a matter of speedruns, today we're only going to be doing this for about 2 hours to come up with just the core template. By the way, did the music stop? Nope, it's just got a slow beginning to the next song. So it's going to be hard to make a heavy game. Now, if there is an idea and we're running with it and we're like, man, this idea is insane, then we could go heavy. So some heavy games that I eventually want to do would be like a TCG. I've really wanted to make a TCG. I've made a couple different board games that have unique cards in them. But to actually have one that's like, that's the only thing that you're doing, some sort of battler, I think would be a lot of fun. So that's what we're going to do. Explanations are out the door, and we're going to get started. So let's go back here. All right. Now we have a whole bunch of mechanics, as you can see. We also want to open up a doc that has like an existing kind of like a finished product just to show off. And I'll be sharing this other doc in a bit, but we're just going to be pasting things into here too. So actually let's add another one here just to show this off. There we go. So this was one we made, I made a while ago. It's called buyourboats.com. I've yet to play it. Seemed really fun. And in this game, you're all building a website to buy boats and buy and sell boats. It's a creative party game where you're creating different components of a website and working together. But here you can see we had the mechanics of simultaneous action selection, push your luck and take that, and the themes were boats and software. So we had a few ideas. We decided to go with this middle one, and then you had different things like components and setup. So we're going to take this. We're just going to do a quick save as. And right now we don't know what it's going to be called. So we're just going to call it our new game. All right, and we'll be editing that. So how many mechanics do we have here? I think we have somewhere around 62 mechanics. And for themes, what we got, like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, somewhere around 45 themes. So we'll be randomly selecting those. So let's get the speedrun going. And we're going to say it's going to be going in 3, 2, 1. And giddy up and go. Show the browser. All right. So our minimum is 162. This first click is just to prove that it works. All right, it works. So we're just gonna count down. I didn't number them because you know I'm smart. We'll randomly select one. So the first mechanic will be number 62. What? So whatever the final mechanic in the list is, I'm just gonna select it. It is a campaign game. So we have to keep records of our decisions or events game to game. Okay. So we'll put that in the other game here. This is our first mechanic. Campaign legacy. Good. All right. The next mechanic is going to be 8. All right. What is that? If we go to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rondel, a circular action selector where you must move to perform actions. Interesting. All right. So we'll open up this. That'll be our second mechanic. And then we will go back here. And our last mechanic is going to be 42. Okay. So, wrong one. Let's go ahead and show this. Oh, there it is. I gotta get these things ordered. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna count down 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. We are going to have a board. We are connecting points on a board. Okay, then. All right, so those are our 3 mechanics. The campaign aspect of it needs some permanence. All right, we're not going to think about it yet. We need to think of our themes. Or get our themes. All right, so we're going to bring back the browser. We have about 45 themes, I think. We're going to need 2 themes. Number 9. Where is this at? Yep. Come on now. Oh. Come on, come on. Come on, there it is. Okay. So we're going to go down to our themes. Choose the 9th theme. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nature. Very generic. Okay. So our first one's nature. That could mean a whole lot of things. That was a little too generic probably for a theme. But we all have our own ideas of what immediately comes to mind when you say nature. All right, and our second theme is going to be... I clicked it again. It was 9 again. No. 17. right, let's go back to here. Wrong one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 planes. All right. So now we don't need the browser anymore. And our second theme is planes. Okay. So, ideas. So what we're going to do is come up with 3 different ideas. Oh, come on now. For these mechanics and themes. I think the campaign aspect of it, I don't want that to be a forefront. That's kind of like a supplementary mechanic, I guess. Although you want to always keep it in mind. The action selection. So what is a rondel circular thing? Well, essentially, it's like a circle like this. And you move around it. And you kind of move further to perform different actions. It's almost like wedges. And you can design it in a whole bunch of ways. Route building, network building, that's a common mechanic in games. And then legacy tracking. And then we have nature and planes. Now we are also going to be showing, we'll be drawing some stuff as we go along too. So we will have GIMP open. I'll go ahead and just do that before I forget. All right. So this is our drawing area. But right now we're not there yet. Okay. So we're going to come up with 3. So this is where we do the Jimmy Neutron thing. Nature and planes. There's a lot of freedom in these mechanics. So when I think of nature, I think of a few different things. It speaks to me of like forests, rolling hills, animals, the wilds, mountains, oceans, green. I think, and the idea of building routes. Why would you need planes? Of course, you could deliver things. I like that idea of delivering. That's usually a common mechanic in games. We actually did that in one of the previous games we made. This idea of taking stuff from one spot and getting it to another. Is that a dumb idea? All right. I thought of the name for the game. It's called the Amazon Delivery Service. So, you are animals in the Amazon rainforest. And you are constantly ordering goods for your animal homes. And oh wait, no, there are animals. Get orders and ship them to their homes, creating paths through rivers, swamps, and forest, so that all the animals are happy. That's there you go. How is that not already a game? It probably is. Not a sponsor. If Amazon sponsored us. What is the second thing that we want as an idea? So that would be a matter of like, you get this thing, you deliver it to another thing. I like the idea of rivers in games. We have plains though. No, I could get really sci-fi on you for a second. These could be planes of existence. And nature could be like dimensional grass. And like you're like going between planes, man. As a game, there's no game there. Interdimensional traveling. Well, all right. How about this? D&D came to mind. In D&D, you have these different realms. You have like the elemental realm and the whatever, the physical realm. What if you did have a bunch of people who wanted to talk to each other through these different planes? So you had to set up a network. This is now cell phones. You had to set up a network between these different planes so that they could communicate with each other. All right, we're going for it. There are all sorts of planes of existence between the natural worlds. You have the fire plane, the water plane, and the jungle plane, and more. They all talk to each other, but there are no networks or cell phones to do so. You have the honorable task of creating a cell phone network, an interdimensional cell phone network for these creatures. That's a game. I mean, just imagine the legacy component of it. Cell phone network is down. Maybe people in the fire elemental plane can't talk to anybody anymore. Possible. All right. We need a third idea for planes in nature. You could have something asymmetrical. What if um, it was nature against planes? So this would be a thing. Maybe it'd be a two-player game or multiplayer. I'm not sure. You'd have one team that was nature and the other team that were planes. The planes are trying to like get to where they need to be, right? And nature's trying to stop them with like whirlwinds and hurricanes and lightning bolts and things. While they're trying to get points and they're trying to take down the planes. It's like a competitive thing. let's expound that a little bit. Yeah. It is the future. What does that mean? It could be tomorrow. It could be in 10 years. This is decent drum and bass, by the way. It's not terrible. It is the future. Planes are everywhere. Flying hither and thither. The pollution is getting out of hand. Nature itself has risen up to take down the plane empire. Battle it out across the lands. Planes versus nature. Will the future hold air travel? Or will nature force people to use bicycles and tricycles? Naturally. All right, we came up with 3 ideas. How do you like them? We have the Amazon delivery service, not sponsored. We have a interdimensional cell phone network. And then we have planes versus nature trying to have like board control trait networks in order to fight each other for dominance. Sounds pretty good. So, if you want to have an opinion, put your opinion in chat right now. I will listen, but I will also choose one randomly. Let's bring this up. All right. Again, we're just proving this works. Just so people aren't like, oh man, it chose 2 right away. Let's give it a minute. I need to blow my nose because seasonal allergies suck. Be right back. Uh-oh. Okay, we're going to choose one randomly then. We're going to click it 3 times. On the 3rd time, is the idea that we're going to commit to. 3, 2, 1. We're going with 3. No Amazon delivery service. Boo. All right. We're doing a battle game. Not going to lie, this is the one I wanted to do. Okay, so we're done with our idea phase. Now we're going to start drafting. So, our goal, what time is it right now? 11:25. We got about an hour and a half. We don't have to take all that time. But what we're going to do is via Word and then also GIMP, Art Studio. We'll constantly be writing and drafting stuff up. So what are the elements of a game? So this was a completed game for a party sort of creative game. But you have an intro, you have our components. How does the game set up? Then you have the game flow. So we're going to have a rondel action selector, which essentially means that there will be different actions that you can like move through, which will be kind of interesting. This might be a 2-player game. Maybe could be 2-on-2. Right now, the idea behind it originally is a 1-on-1 game. We'll see how that works out. And then we have different sections that we had last time. You can have like roles and things, but in this game, it looks like it's pretty straightforward of just a 1-on-1 sort of dealio. So we'll just copy. We'll just copy the. This is the intro. We don't know. Okay. So, where do we want to start? Oops. Let's get a sense of what it could look like. So, are you going to have like a world map? You gotta have places where planes can like land. Maybe there's like, it's just a whole bunch of islands and planes are like flying between the islands and land masses. But you kind of want nature to be able to like attack the airports and stuff. So let's open up GIMP. And we're gonna draw on here. Yeah, this is just gray. I think the light gray is a decent choice. We'll choose a slightly lighter gray to start drawing. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to need some sort of map. It's not going to be the USA. I think that would be, we don't need to. It could be some fictional land. But there does need to be like a couple big land masses. And then a bunch of whole little islands. So you kind of want land masses. Maybe it could be in the shape of a plane. It has gotten to the point where we've terraformed the Earth to look like planes. So you have, you have a plane. Wait. It's got its wing. It looks like a shark. You know that planes kind of look like sharks? It's got its big engines. Is this a passenger plane? This is one people are riding on. There we go. It's our plane. But this needs to be a landmass. So it doesn't have windows. It's gonna look vaguely plane-like. There we go. There we go. They're like, oh, that landmass looks like a plane. I'm like, nah, it's coincidental. Isn't that an eraser? Oh, that's not doing what I want. That's fine. What? Why is everything like this? We're fine, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. Alright. This is why you always start with an alpha background rather than a... Alright, so here's our plane landmass, right? And this is kind of like the local, the main thing you're jumping off of. And then you have a bunch of islands. Like you have like a... Oops! No! You're gonna have an island up here. Which like, this is an island. It's gonna look like clouds in the sky. And then you're gonna have an island down here. We're gonna have some of these. These are small little islands. This is like the archipelago. This track sucks. We're gonna skip. And that the plane's pooping. And then we're gonna have probably like a crescent island. They call this the giant crescent. All right. And then in between here, all this stuff, this is like water. So just to keep this in mind, this is all like the ocean. There we go. That's some water. Maybe a little bit darker. Oh, you can't see that pop up. Bam. Oh, almost. We got to connect the dots a little bit better. There we go. It's connected. There we go. There we go. Okay. Is everything connected? Mm-hmm. Yep. Totally not wasting time in the ocean. Ah, come on. Oh. Obviously. No! There you go. We're connecting the plane, see? The plane's got humps. Anywhere where there's a little gap. Whoop, there's a gap. They call this planeland. Because it's the mainland. We did it. Alright, there's a beautiful map. We got the ocean. And our islands and stuff. So. We're going to go back to Word. Nope, wrong one. We got to switch up music here because now we're talking about nature. So we're going to do a nature soundscape. Amazing nature. I'm sure this is going to be amazing. All right, now we got our nature soundscape because nature is about to come out. So we're going to start out with our... we got our map with the islands and the board. And right now, it's going to be a 2-player game. It's 2 players. So One player chooses to be nature, and the other is the plains. There's gonna be different tokens. You always gotta have tokens like meeples and stuff. You're gonna have your plane tokens, because planes gotta fly places. So you're gonna have plane tokens, meeples, and you have nature tokens, takens. Here it says talking about rounds and things for the other game. So man, that got pretty in depth. You see, this is where we're headed. We just need to get, you gotta get rolling. Delete the other stuff. Okay. Now we have to think about, we got nature tokens, we got planes. They're fighting somehow. Are we going to be drawing in the board? There needs to be some way for roots to happen. Because naturally, planes can't just, you know, go off willy-nilly. They're riding the wind, which is controlled by nature. What is this? Is this an H1? Make that H1. All right. Actions. So, how do you win the game? We need an objective. So is this a game where you get points? You know, is this a get points? Control the whole board? Destroy the the planes destroy nature. Maybe destroy the opponent or suppress the opponent. But I think there needs to be something where you could also make it asymmetrical. The planes are trying to do something, and nature's trying to stop them. So you could have asymmetrical. Planes trying to do, say, deliveries. Nature trying to shut down locations. So maybe that is something. Maybe the planes are trying to go from place to place, you know, zooming in and out of hurricanes and tornadoes and hailstorms. Like you have a sandstorm over here that's attacking this airport. All right, it probably needs to be airports. Maybe the airports are on the map. Maybe you just slap one down. But like, and they're trying to ruin the infrastructure. So let's think of actions. And I think we're going to go with this idea of asymmetry for right now. So you have the planes and you have nature. So generic. Actions. I think to start the game, there needs to be some existing stuff. So maybe there are areas where you could put an airport. Or the map could be divided. Yeah. So let's just say at the beginning, setup. These are really components. This is. What about nature? What could nature have? Power tokens? We have nature tokens. What do we want to call them? We could call them like guardians. We want to personify nature in some way. Because like if planes have airports and that's where they're traveling to and from, nature I think also wants to be like connections. Maybe you could have, you're building like ways to block off like things. So what could those locations be that you're trying to impede? Pillars? We'll just call them waypoints. It's for nature. All right. The plane player. Some better terminology. The plane player. Starting with a plane player. Placing airports and in any available location. So let's go back to our map. All right, so here's our map. So we're going to have airports be denoted in magenta. And we'll just choose to make them stars. That's an airport. So you could say have like an airport here, here, here. You know, like maybe these are your airports. And then the nature player would put down waypoints. Make it a little bit smaller. So like maybe the nature has like one here. Something like that. So they're on the map. We're on the map, we're on the map, we're on the map. Okay. Come on now. There we go. The objective is connecting I like the idea of, all right, so a game I don't like is Ticket to Ride. In Ticket to Ride, you're slowly building out pathways along roads with your trains in order to connect one location to another. In this game, what I like is the freedom of space. Planes go up in the air. If you had little pieces of like wood or something like that, you could just put it on the board. And as long as they're the right size, you could connect them however you want. So we need as a component, airplanes, and then this is going to be flying route sections, and then we're gonna have sections. And these sections will be like sticks or something like that, like little things you can connect to each other. So, yeah. So, you could have this. I like that nature is trying to block them off. How do you win? What is the goal? You could try to be connecting things to each other. Because right now we're thinking a little bit symmetrical. Nature's trying to connect to nature. Airports are trying to connect to airports. Airports connect to nature. Nature connects to airports. I think the objective is going to be something like connect to at least, all right, get 3 unique airports or waypoints connected, or have a specific length of connection. Like X number of, what do we call them? Route sections or pathway sections. All right. I take a brief break. Nature calls. I'll be right back. I'm going to keep this clock running because it's annoying to pause it. Bada bing, bada boom. What's even playing right now? Hello? What music's playing? Nothing. It's just ambient nothingness right now. It was just a track of silence. I think this is what this is, actually. It didn't have any sound, but it was playing. Love that nature. There it is. This is so chill. You can barely hear it. Listen softly. Oh, there it is. We all know that this track is Lower Heavens by the Abstract Aprils. Oh, yeah. Big Lower Heavens fan. Love this track. So, I think we're going to do something like this. Okay. We're also, if we go back to our GIMP, we need to think of a rondelle. So how do actions work? He's got humps. He's on my humps. So if we have a circle, all right, we're gonna have a circle. We'll fill in the circle. All right, this is our action circle. It's green because nature. If we go back to our doc, you might be wondering. There, I got rid of this other doc. Come on now. Don't save. What does this really mean with a circular action selector where you have to move to perform actions? What does that mean? So, it can mean a lot of things. Moving on. We could divide this up into sections. Not using whatever that was. Hello? Oh, I chose the wrong one. There it is. Cool. So say you divided this up into sections. So wait, why did that one not work? Zoom out just a little bit. Zoop. Now, if you had a 4-1, you could just go dump, 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 dump. You'd have a 1, 2, 3, and 4 actions. And you have to rotate around them. You have to go this way and then around before you could get back to 2. So if we just do a nice pizza pie to start. We can think of actions being something that if you want to get back to one action, you have to first walk through a bunch of others. And maybe when you take those actions, maybe there's a certain amount of skipping you can do. Maybe you can earn tokens to skip forward to a thing that you want to do. Excuse me. So let's think of certain things that you could do as actions, and then we'll see how we want to build out our little wheel idea. So let's do this. Oh, it needs to be up. Alley-oop. So we're going to go down to our actions. So for a plane, this music needs to be more upbeat. We're doing plane stuff now. We're going to call it a transportation. Nothing. Movement. Like a bustling airport. Movement. An artist. Folk music. Urban. Suspense. Electronic. Alright, sure. Alright, so we're going to have place down a, what are we calling them? A route? We'll just call them a route section. An RS for short. Route section that connects to either an airport or an existing route section. Cool. And then place an airport or an airplane. I'm just going to call them planes. Place a plane in an airport. Okay. Move a plane from an airport to a section. Or from one route section another. And then what can planes do? Well, we're battling. So I think a plane battle. Fight or attack. What are the other things called? Plane tokens, a nature token. In the same quadrant. Trap. Set a trap. Sounds like we're gonna have quadrants. We need trap tokens. we're moving now. So let's go place. So we're gonna do root. So we're gonna have root place a root section. Then we'll have create or plane build. Place a new plane in an airport. And move a plane from airport to a root section, battle, and trap. And maybe repair. Repair a plane or an airport. Okay. You know, all these could probably be applied to nature too. Maybe the nature of their attacks is different. This track's different. So we'll just duplicate it for now, and we'll think how this might be different for our nature. Nature path. Okay. Place a new what? Nature. What are we calling them? Elementals? We're just gonna have tokens. We'll call them elementals. They're made out of the elements, nature. In a waypoint. Right. A waypoint. All right, move an elemental. I know we're just replicating it, but from a waypoint, because it might be different how they work. We're gonna have to start. Okay. We're gonna have to start thinking about quadrants. So we have 6. I'll think of a couple others as well. Maybe there's like a special ability you can earn. Or it could just be 6. We could always go back to our thing and make this 6 here in GIMP. Instead of having 8. Let's actually do that. Zoop. Now you might be wondering, how do I make 6? Well, you gotta have 6. So think of like a pie. You go boop, and you go down the middle. And then Scooby Dooby. Oh, it's just an X. Oh, we gotta make sure it goes all the way through. There we go. And then here, let's put our actions there. Oh, I like this track. Can I thumbs up tracks that I like? Yeah, I can heart it. We gotta start building out our library of tracks that we like. Okay. Now let's minimize that. Minimize. Yoop. All right, so we have root, build, move, battle, trap, repair. So we're gonna have R for root, build, root, that's a T, build, BD. These are like elements that were created. Move, battle, trap, repair. M, move, battle, battle, trap, and then rip, repair. Easy. Okay. Oh, we need to start thinking about quadrants. So if we go back to, let's see. So here's our. Is this irking you as much as it's irking me? It's fine. It's fine. It's not like that. No. There we go. That's the ocean. It's the ocean. See? I don't know what you're talking about. They didn't got no humps. Okay. So quadrants. Maybe we should create a new layer. New layer. I'll call this quadrants. And these quadrants, I think, are going to be like a grid. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Tools, or Filter, Render, Pattern Grid. And our color, we want it to be clear right now. What goes on blue? Let's make it yellow. Okay, yellow, white. And we need to make it pretty big. I guess our map is huge right now. Something like that. So the idea being that when you're within a certain place, you can battle things within a certain place. And of course we can move this grid around, you know, like if we take it. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's say we're like, oh, the grid makes sense like this. We're moving it. All right. Easy to make a grid. But the idea is that you're living in quadrants. And that when you're battling things, they need to be in the same general location as you. That's what that is. Okay. So Smokey Joe. On the same turn, or on a given turn, you can do how many things? Because it's going to be kind of boring-ish. Might be chess-like. If you can just place a thing, they place a thing. You do a thing, they do a thing. How many actions can you do per round? So that's just listing out the actions. We call it turns. If it's just 2 players, it's really your turn. It's not a round, so to speak. It's your turn. So, whip. Hey there. Hey, fine. Okay. So. On a player's turn. They can take 2 actions. These actions, I'll just make up some rules really quickly, must be different. And I was going to say, what about the movement? The action spaces can't be when choosing an action, you must move 1 to 2 spaces forward on the who's Rondell and why is it called that? On the Rondell action board. It's a circle. Use the action that you land on. Not they can, they must take 2 actions. And they must be different. You must move forward. Dang it! You gotta do it! And use the action that you land on. That's it. And we just have to define what these actions are. So, for example, you have a little over here. And say I had a piece We'll create a new layer. Make it a small one. And let's call this the plane piece. Where is he? Oh, he's all the way up here. And we'll just make a piece. It'll be, I don't know, red. He's a square piece. This is them. Okay. Let's move over this thing. All right, so say you're the red player and you were on this spot and you built a route. Then you got to go 1, 2, or you can go here. But then next round you can go 1, 2, or 1, 2. But say you started on repair, you go 1, 2, 1, 2. You're never going to be able to get all the way over to trap. Or if you decided to build a route and then build a new plane, it's taking a longer time to get over to those locations again. That's the idea behind this kind of circular-esque system. Circular-esque. Yes. Okay. So the goal is to be able to connect 3 unique airports or wayports, or of a specific length connection. So the connections that you're putting down are going to be like little rectangles. So let's create a couple of those to see what those look like. So if we go back to here, these are islands. These are our waypoints. Well, we'll keep with this aesthetic here. And let's create a new layer again. And we're going to call these our routes. Routes? Routes. All right. And, that's what you want to do a lot. Stutter. So they're going to be rectangular pieces of the grid. There you go. How do we create these as objects here? As an example. I don't know, they'll be like pieces of wood like this. There you go. You created a route. And then like you could create another one and it could go like this way. And then you could create another one like this. And your routes are connected. You know? And then the nature people are creating their own routes. You know, this is a very different song. It's like, say they created one like this. And then they create another one. So they're also creating routes as they go along. And they'll have planes and stuff on them. All right. How do we get a dubstep song after all this stuff? No, this is called uplifting. Wait, what's playing? Oh, it's called dub move. Sure. Because we did movement. So you're placing down stuff, you're getting places. Easy. So really anything to it? Do we just need to define battling? So easy the game is? You just go back and forth placing stuff. What about overlapping sections? There's the thing about overlapping sections. What else is there? Battling, driving people out, using abilities. Because right now it's sort of like chess-ish. Where, you know, you're just building out things. You're trying to connect to places. You're trying to get somewhere quicker. So I think we have to think about how these things intersect. So the big questions. Let's do a thing about questions. How the game works. How the game will work. Oh, sorry. There you go. Questions we have for how the game will work. So these are things we need to solve for. One. Oh. One. Bro. Just let me do numbers. Numbers. What? Who? Whatever. How does it work when routes and what are we calling them? Paths or something? Pathways intersect. Are there asymmetrical abilities? How do battles work? And within this, how does damage work? Are there special abilities for battle? Are there secret objectives that give you an advantage as you play? How do traps work? Are there multiple types of traps? What other questions do we have right now? Try not to think of the nitty-gritty, like how many of these things go between cities. But thinking of the board, because this is again a board-based game with connections, we have to think of, are there different types of terrain other than land and sea? Forest, desert, plains. We probably should say plains. Are there ways to change how many times you can use the same action? The action board. Are they secret? Are they secret? Or are they public? What other things do we want to think about? Forest, desert, mountains. What are the things here? Right now, I also don't think have any like RNG. There's no rolling of dice or anything. That might be a battle component of thinking like, how do you battle? And that'll be kind of a big thing. That'd be like nature. Just someone has to come up with a good narrative. Whoever comes up with the best narrative wins. How big is the board? Game is this? Quadrants. How long are connections? So part of this is like if you're a really small board and you're just trying to do it, you're trying to get a sense of momentum and stuff. Do you get bonuses for making any connection? If the objective goal is to get at least 3 connections, specific length of connections, like 15 or more routes, pathways. What are intermediate goals or bonuses or rewards? So these are all questions that you have that we want to answer before we dive in and one, develop it in Tabletop Simulator, and two, before you play a game. So we're starting with a baseline of it. What are all these sorts of things that we kind of need to define? And there's a lot of freedom in that. And finally, we have the mechanic I haven't really thought about, which is one of the gameplay mechanics is that this is a legacy game. So we go way up to the top. There's campaigns in Legacy. Keeping records of decisions or events. How do actions in one game affect actions in future games? And another question I just thought of. Are there different types elementals? Different abilities they may have. Move, battle, set traps, break up connections. So a lot of different things we want to think about. Any other questions we can think of before we call it a day today? Because this is all about brainstorming, drafting. I don't think so. Planes are everywhere. So we got the gist. The gist is we're going to have a map with islands and things. There's going to be quadrants that you're fighting within. You're trying to build pathways from one location to another. You're trying to connect these connections. You're going to be placing down planes and elementals on these things. They're flying along. Maybe only one of each can fit within each area. You're going to be selecting actions as you move around to do these different things. And it's very reactive because you're going to be constantly going back and forth. If they start building over here, maybe you start building here to block them. Maybe you put a few things over here. We have to think about that action-reaction idea within a two-player game. I think that's it for now. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is we got to answer these questions. And it's kind of like improv. As you answer questions, you're just going to start building out rules. Once you've established rules, those will influence other rules. And we'll probably continue drawing as well. So in GIMP, we'll draw. But we'll also, in our manual here, we want different icons and things. So we're going to start drawing icons for things like planes and elementals and roots and all these sorts of things. We want actual icons that we can use both on the board as we create it and throughout the manual. That's important as well for when we transfer over to Tabletop Simulator. We need to know all our components that we can just build out so that we can play it in that. But I think we're going to call it there. I think we're going to say, I think that's it. About an hour and a half. It's about right. Could have gone a little bit longer, but I think we're going to do some of the more detailed work tomorrow. And to finish it, what is the beautiful music that we have? This was working all right. So clever. So clever. We're going to call it there. It's fun getting back into game design. Thanks for all who tuned in today. Thanks for all who are going to be checking this out later on Twitch and YouTube. As always, love you guys.